I was on sabbatical in Lyon, France last year, and I get this email from somebody in Chile saying, I've read your book on the Chilean art collective Cata, and I'd like to come work with you and have you co-direct my dissertation. And when I got this, I thought this is kind of like some Nigerian prince writing me and offering me $2.6 million. Nobody reads my book, first of all. You write academic books, nobody reads them, and then nobody writes you afterwards, and nobody asks to come. And so, I write him back, and I realize he's legitimate, and he's writing a dissertation on the political potential of performance art. Specifically in the Chilean context, and I have some experience in this, but I said, I could connect you with Diana Taylor at New York University, or with somebody at Cornell who really works with, he said, no, I want to work with you. And I'm like, but dude, why would you want to work with me in Flagstaff, Arizona? And he insisted he wants to work with me, at which point I said, but that would be fine, but I have no money to offer you. We're a small state university, there's no way that I can fund you coming. And he said, well, how about if I get a scholarship to come work with you? At which point I'm like, sure, you get a scholarship to come work with me in Flagstaff, and I'll be there, Thinking, no way is he going to get this scholarship. And of course, he goes and gets a full ride scholarship to come spend the semester, and he is currently here as a visiting scholar in the Department of Global Languages and Culture. Now, in hindsight, I understand now why he got that scholarship. Not only I want to work with him, but why he got the scholarship. Because he is not only an incredibly curious, forward-thinking, creative person, but he's also one of the hardest working people I have ever met. Now, he's been here just for this semester. He got here, dealt with all of the culture shock, the language problems. Immigration wanted to send him back. They threatened to send him back when he landed in Phoenix, and 2 days later he had to take the Greyhound down to Yuma and cross the border, so all of those kinds of things. But in spite of all of that, since he's been here, he's turned in an enormous grant proposal to FONDART, which is a Chilean governmental arts funding program. He's written 2 complete chapters of his thesis. He's revised and submitted an article to a journal. He put together a panel proposal for the Latin American Studies Congress in Lima with 4 or 5 people from Chile. And he's conceived and designed a performance that he and his partner Lucy are going to do in the Sonoran Desert. He'll be talking a little bit about that tonight. So it's been a real pleasure to be here working with him. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to Francisco González Castro.
Thank you very much. The first thing is making a clearance about why I want to work with Robert. And it's because he's one of the particular person in the academy that besides make research, write articles, books, and classes, he also creates, has his records, plays his guitar, write theater. So that mix between the theory and the academic field with the creativity, the creation activity, it's really particular and make the approach from one as a researcher to other artists real different from people who just look like, with all the respect, Diana Taylor, who she doesn't do performance art, but she writes about that in the way that you get the distance from the practice to the artwork, the intellectual practice. So with Robert, that doesn't happen because he also creates. And that for me is really important to work with somebody when you can create an artwork, you can review an article, you can talk about some philosopher, you can make critiques between the works each other, and that's really particularly, and that's why I insist too much to come to work with him. So, that said, well, again, thank you very much for coming. In this particular presentation, I'm going to talk about my work as an artist, and I separate in kind of problems that I work, and I group this artwork together in relation to that. So one is body and presence, and there are works when only the presence of the body make that something happen beyond the action itself. The other, it's body and the power centers, that there are works when I try to, I don't know if it's struggle or something with a political institution, economic institution, the police, different powers there are in our society, and we have to make something with that. The other is bodies and creation of reality. That is the thing that I'm most focused right now, and it's part of my research on my PhD, and it's about how when we can make kind of community with the co-presence of bodies in an artwork that has a structure that is not like a closed structure that not allows to people go inside and create. That is not only when you make participate art or something like that, that you go and you can participate in the artwork, but it's always framed for the artist, from the artist. And in this kind of works, I try that the structure is so open that the people can actually change the work from inside and being artists and create their own reality and not always contemplate the reality. And the other thing I'm gonna talk, it's about a collective of artists that I work is Charcoal, and the performance that Robert told us that I'm gonna do with Lucy in the Sonoran Desert. So the first work I'm gonna show you is this, that has no title, and it's really simple. It's, well, 10 years ago, and what I did with two friends was just dress the same way, lay down in the street, in the public space, at the same distance, the same position, but we take a pill in the morning and spend the night before awake, so we are unconscious for 3 hours. So it was only the presence of the body without any gesture, any consciousness, that intervened the public space. In that point, in my formation as an artist, I was trying to use the body only in a formal way to intervene the space, but different things happen only with the body lie down unconscious. For example, this woman kissed the 3 of us. Other kids play, start to jump, run to each other. The police pass, well, they don't do nothing. An ambulance pass too, and they look, they go on their way, and they do nothing. And we present the work for the second time, but it was a Saturday in the afternoon in a place with a lot of bars. So, for example, one drunk guy started to hit one of us because he thought, hey, what are you doing? We are unconscious, we are just bodies, and get mad and hit one of us. Like, and it was really, I don't know, strange for a matter of speaking. Other put me coins in my eyes. Other tried to jump us in a bike. And so it's a work that is really simple, but it's still strange for me how only with a body in the street, without doing nothing, people can kiss you or hit you. So it's something really wrong with this society if with that kind of stimulus you go for kiss to hit. So it's still, I don't know, still show this work for that. The second work that I'm going to show you is 433. The title is a quote for the work of John Cage in that a piano piece where he sits in front of the piano and for 4 minutes and 33 seconds doesn't play. So the silence is the piece. And what I did in this library, in a performance festival, in these stairs, and from the 3rd floor, I hang in that position with my feet, my hands behind me, and only for approximately 4 minutes and 33 seconds, I was in front of the people. Just like a big silence of the body without any possibility of nothing. If the rope cuts, I die. It was no possibility of anything. If I start to stress myself, I could desperate, my muscles were tight, so it was just be there and the people contemplate me as an object. But, just like in the first work, I have not realized the impact of this kind of presence of the body in the people. So, for example, a boy starts to cry, and the mother has to take it away. Other people start to look in down to see if there were mattress or something. The rope was new, so start to make that sound like when they pulled me up, it was like it was wood in the border, so the rope start to burn a little the wood, so start to smell like burning, so people get more scared. But in my head, in the beginning, it was only put the body for contemplation, but all these kind of things happen only with that presence. Then I made this video performance about the same work, but try to control more this aspect. So I'm gonna show you real fast part of the video. It's really long, so we can look completely, but real slow the rope start to pull me up, and then I hang there. In my head, in the beginning, I would be like a lamp or something, but the image is much more strong, I think, that hits and all. So I was stay there, and stay there. For this work, I'm going to show you another video. Explains better. This was in the Contemporary Museum of Art in Chile, and I was tied, just how you see, to the border of the museum. Then the rope entered, and the people can actually pull from the rope. So in the beginning, I was actually thinking, and the presence of the body, how you put in that position that tense the spectator to act and all, but I was thinking that people actually gonna throw like that with a lot of people, and they tortured me for an hour and a half that, according to the Inquisition manual, is the time that if you support that kind of torture, you are telling the truth. And people torture you, and it's strange because in a country with all the problems from the dictatorship, from all the case of torture that are still going, people actually in this context, it's willing and it's happy and they laugh when they torture somebody. So, in the same way that the first word, it's something really wrong with the society that allows that, and the context of art that in a way it's kind of suspend all the ethics and all the morals, and people think they can do whatever they want. And if you go to a context when you don't apply all the rules, actually people can show how they really are and what they can do if there were no social limits. So in this case, this was really painful. Start an hour and a half in that position. And that was a friend, for example. Was. Here, I'm going to pass to the other problem that I worked.
People that invite you? People that invite you, were they friends or were they strangers who invite you?
No, my friends tag me, and my friends don't tag me.
Okay.
Yeah, only my friends. Some people go and start to talk with me, and oh, it's really great to work, but I was in pain, and after an hour, I don't want to talk. It was like, thank you, but talk to me in a week or something. Like the people can realize that it's a real body, and they look like an image only, and that's really good about that. Here, work with the economical power. I look for what are the companies that make more money in Chile that appear in some ranking or Forbes of the 2,000 more millionaire business company in the world, and there were 8 Chilean. So I tried to make a mark because for some research that I read, the economic management in Chile, it's really like obscure, like occult thing. It's really corrupt, and these 8 companies has almost the 50% of the internal product. So in case that these 8 companies decide to move all their capitals, Chile goes to bankrupt. So they have a lot of power. And the thing that I did was go to these companies and lay down in front of the doors until they tell me, hey, you have to go out or something. In one case was 30 seconds. I lay down and guards go and you have to go, you can do that. And in others, people just pass, look, and they go to work. It was like, oh, there's a people like down here, somebody. And they don't care. Like this business company with the people, they don't actually care. Like a bank doesn't have the better credit, it's absurd. So I made this performance in front of these companies. This, for example, is Land Airlines. And in that moment, Sebastián Piñera was the president of the board, and after he was the president of Chile. Really unfortunate thing. No, too bad. And I have the problem of how do I show this kind of intervention in a room, art room or a museum or a gallery. So I made this installation that it was this TV, and when you enter to the room, you saw the picture of the whole building and me down really little. But when you start to walk to the TV to see the picture more near, the image goes to black. And when you are really close to the TV, appear the data of the company, the name, the address, how money they made, where I took the information, and it was in Spanish and English. So I took the name of this word, the castle, from the novel of Kafka, where the character comes to a town and has to work, and has to go to the castle to know what to do. And the entire novel is he trying to reach the authority in the castle, and he never can. So this work is trying to replicate the same structure in a way that it only works if the people go back and forth, and the people has to move, and has to activate this mechanism. So in my head, if I want to the people realize the importance of the work, has to happen in their own bodies. It's not like you look at an image and, oh yeah, it moves me. I'm gonna think in the economy. No, people actually have to move for the people to work. And if it doesn't, they go, look, and they go out, nothing happens. So for me it was really important that the people can feel in their flesh and in their action some part of the things that I try to do in the public space. Then I go to the second part of this work, the Castle 2, and I go to Valparaiso in front of the Chilean Congress, go to this bookstore, and it's right across the street, and I buy the Castle, the book, and I go in front of the Congress and I read completely, the complete novel in the day out loud. It was, I think, like 8 hours reading, so it was kind of the same thing of the absurd of the novel, try to reach the authority, try to put in front of the building, one of the most important buildings of the political power in Chile, and read a novel that is about the impossibility of me going to that place. So it was kind of absurd, but it was strange what happened in myself reading this book in front of this institution. At the beginning, the book was really light, but after 4 hours, it was so much heavier. My back, my legs, I never moved from the place. So for all the people who work in front of the Congress, I was a presence from the whole day, like from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And at the end, my voice, I couldn't talk, nothing. It was like, because after 8 hours of talking without stop, your voice, no, it's just that simple. And when I was finished, I left like 2 or 3 pages, the police came and started to ask for the ID of all the people who were listening. So I was finished, and I go. Not having any problem with the police. So after that, I worked with the police. And I made this video performance that we made live with my nephew, 10 years old. And it's a really simple video. I'm not going to show you completely because it's 24 minutes. But basically, my nephew paints my hair with green. The same green that the police uniform in Chile. So, from the painting to make the effect and stick my hair, it has to have passed like 20 minutes for that. So for the whole time, my nephew was singing the official song of the police in Chile. So at the beginning, he said, well, Harvey was, yeah, it's a job, an art job, it's good. But after 7 minutes, a little uncomfortable. So to continue till and when the time passed, he cleaned my hair, then we go. And it's kind of a game about the authority, the authority of the police with obviously the song, the color, but also between a adult and a child, the roles that society imposes to ways to act in certain relations. And the thing that we did with that, we don't show in any context of art. We go to the Facebook of the police and post them there. So the public for artwork, it was about the police, the authority and all that, was the same police and the same official page. Probably no one see it. Probably they delayed like a day or two after that. But in the intention to open the boundaries of the art context, that it's not necessary for me to show this video in an art show in a museum, because a museum go people who want to see art. But a police officer or a person who is pro-police and pro-authority find this could be more effective than a person who is always looking art. And the last work I'm going to show you about this problem of power, it's with my nephew too. We made this flyer with the route of the subway in Santiago, the principal road. And from each station, we put the name of organization, foundation, banks, university, political parties, that they have made some damage to society or corrupt things. And from the other side, we have the name of these institutions, the address, what they did, in what year, could be 10 years ago, could be the past week, and where to go to find more information. And we made like a tourist tour in the subway, telling the people, in this station, there is this company. This company 5 years ago stole from the Chilean millions and millions of dollars. Don't forget that. The next station is blah, blah, blah. And here is this company. So we make the whole tour from São Paulo to Los Dominicos, tell in each station what institutions are that are damaged to us as ordinary citizens. So it's kind of an exercise of memory, but it also from the people know where are these places, and there are it's real people who make that decision. It's not like the society. No, there are companies with names in it, with people who make that decision. And it was really impressed the response of the people. Some people, thank you. Other, oh, you are from some organization. And the flyer we deliver to the people, whoever who wants, we pass them. We have a folder with all the information, all the information about these companies, these problems. So it was really kind of invisible performance in a way, because probably not much people think that it was a work of art. But it was kind of an action like a common citizen too, not only as like an artist, like somebody who is really angry how the things work. And then we came to this problem, that is the creation of the reality. There is more fun in a way than being tortured. For example, here, he is Sebastián Núñez. And we worked together in a community when I was participating in a program, and I do workshops of art and stuff like that. And we made this performance in a show for 3 hours, and the only thing that we do was talk. We talk about soccer, politics, art, what you eat at lunch, and we have more seats. So people can go with us, and we have this graffiti in the wall next to each other who says that. So we just been there for 3 hours and talk. And it was kind of amazing for me how something that common, like talk, can create a small community for 3 hours, but with that community, with that, I don't know, way of create your own space, you can actually create your own reality. And for me and Sebastian, for sure, this work really Marcos. They put a before and after this action. He, for example, with 13 years old, he perfectly understands that if people sit with us, they were artists and they were part of an artwork. And in that age, not have this block of the art is an object and can be live, it was really refreshing, and I learned a lot from him, and he learned a lot from me too. It was really great, and the people start to make lines to talk with us. Really, there were really great works there, but they make their line and wait, and then sit and talk with us of anything.